So I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio. We're gonna call this deck system the ferry deck because I essentially had to take the ferry to get over here because of traffic. Traffic's horrible. But behind me is a sun damaged deck system that has loose boards, loose planks, mildew growth. It has some peeling deck paint. It just needs updated on maintenance. It needs a few planks replaced. Then lockdown encapsulation with thick build, tough coating. A resurfacing is essentially what this deck needs. Let's take a look at it. So the ferry deck is a rather large deck system. It basically has 3 wings, a drop down area here that comes to this yard. There's also a set of steps over there on the left side. We're getting ready to go up there. Then it has privacy slats over here, fences on the right wing that kind of block the neighbors or anybody that's over there from being able to see up on there. As you can see, the outside of it needs cleaned really well because of mildew growth. What we call end of board mildew growth. Kind of get you a good look at what's going on here. Peeling deck paint, so this will absolutely be a resurfacing project and a peeling deck paint lockdown encapsulation. Once we come through here with high pressure water, a lot of this is going to come up off of here. You can see the boards, some of them are loose, and so just coming through and doing maintenance is a lot of this. Coming through and putting a couple screws in here, premium coated screws, right? There's several. I found a few boards up on the deck system that are loose as well. But as you can see, the main issue here is what we call moderate sun damage, moderate ugly deck syndrome, deck leprosy. Show you guys deck leprosy, which is peeling deck paint. This may or may not be bare deck over. If not, it's something similar, right? Here's what I kind of consider a drop down from the main deck. A wing here, a little drop down wing of this deck system. It has 2 privacy slats on this side. Again, most of the horizontal surfaces of this will have peeling deck paint of some sort and moderate sun damage. So we'll be coming in to do lockdown encapsulation of this once we get this all prepped. So high pressure water, remove any of the loose stuff. We'll come in with silverback epoxy and fill this stuff nice. Fill this in to where water cannot get down in there long term. Braces, anywhere where they're beneficial on this system, I want to add braces. We'll have to check and see if that's beneficial to add one there or not. It may or may not be. Anywhere there is an area where it's beneficial, we will add them. Stuff like this, if we can get those fixed, we want to put a screw in them and try to fix them. Again, deck leprosy, peeling deck paint. These are common themes that very common themes that you will always find me and my company around. Deck leprosy, ugly deck syndrome, sun damage, boards and planks that are kind of on their last leg. Can they be saved or can they not be saved, right? That's kind of the overwhelming theme here. So this is the main deck. It has moderate mildew and algae growth. that needs to be resolved via cleaning. Some of the planks here have more sun damage than others. So there's some that have moderate, there's some that have mild, and then there's also some planks up here that I would consider to have severe sun damage. Maybe not extreme, but severe. This is very bad for your deck system. For those of you that watch this, and you can kind of see why. The moisture holds. So this moisture will stay up underneath of here for days. If there are any planks that absolutely need to be replaced on this deck system, I would expect them to be up under here. We'll get to that when we get here though. Same thing with the rail systems. If any of them are loose, put a premium deck screw in them. They're facing also deck leprosy, peeling deck paint, mild to moderate sun damage, right? All need encapsulated with thick build, high stretch. Why high stretch? High stretch because this plank is going to continue to move throughout its lifetime, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. As the humidity and the heat affect this wood plank, it will constantly move. And so if you don't have an industrial elastic coating on your deck system, it's going to end up like this, where it's cracked and peeling because it cannot handle the movement. That's what Kong solves. Kong also solves the resurfacing of this, so the hairlines. Our system will resurface. So we'll come in with the intent to resurface, pressing down into these cracks and gaps with our elastomer. Once we have it resurfaced, then we'll rebuild it even more with thick build, knocking down stuff like this, right? So intense cleaning here at the ferry deck. There's going to be intense work with silverback epoxy to fill in, checking. We know that this will be a peeling deck paint, peeling bare deck over, lockdown encapsulation. We know that this will be a resurfacing project where we're going to resurface and rebuild, right? We know that there's maintenance that needs to be done here, and we can probably guess that up to 5 planks, maybe even more, will have to be replaced on this deck system. So we're talking, this is also going to be a restoration situation, okay? Over here to the right side, there's a doggy ramp that you can just grab and lift up, lean up against the fence system there. I'll walk you through the outside. This wing of the deck system, privacy fence here. These are 6x10. The sun damage is not bad. They're rather healthy, but they just need encapsulated. So just really thick build through this. Maybe work with some of the checking if there is any. It's kind of mild here because of the trees and a cicada. So we'll see how that plays out throughout this process. End of board mildew growth. So it's obvious that cleaning is something that's going to be important here at the ferry deck, especially on end of board areas, end of deck systems where the railing is, where shade is constantly present. That it has allowed mildew growth from the moisture that holds in this valley. The ledger boards that will be coated here at the ferry deck will be this main ledger board. We'll work intently to to remedy stuff like this. There's a large crack on this ledger board. They're never going to be able to replace that, so let's see what we can do with the Silverback epoxy repair system. Rather than just popping this off of here, which we could, let's see if we can press this back up on here with the Silverback system. Of course, it will be a cosmetic repair, but it will look better. It'll look better than if we just bust it off. No problem if we did bust it off. It's not going to affect any type of structural. Working with Silverback epoxy here, everything. And then there's a ledger board here that's coated. Okay, everything that we do here will be with the intent to resurface and rebuild, to encapsulate, to lock down, to make thick build, to make tough. Everything. The bolt systems want all this encapsulated so that water can't get down in there. Here's another ledger board. We'll work with the Silverback epoxy. The system itself will fill in these. We want Silverback epoxy in these larger ones. Bring these out to where, fill these in with Silverback to where water can't get down in there. There's already leaves and stuff down in there, so it's holding moisture as it is. Let's go ahead. And we're going to go ahead and coat this how it is, but I want to clean this area right here. Not necessarily the underside of the deck system doesn't have to be cleaned, but let's clean this for them. Maybe if we have leftover coating, we might coat this area. We'll see. This is going to be an extensive process, and we might run short of coating, so we'll leave that area for last to see if it's possible for us to coat it. If not, it's healthy for us to leave that open. And really, I don't really think too many people hang down out over there where they're looking up underneath there anyways, so it's not a priority, right? But this is the ferry deck. This is a deck rescue painting project by Kong Armor. This is definitely a deck rescue painting project. Without Kong, they're facing floor replacement. It might not seem like that, but it really is the truth. If you look here, they're facing replacing this. And the sections that have the severe sun damage like this are so large, so you're talking from here to there, that you wouldn't not replace the other part of this because of that. So if you were going to do it, you would do the whole thing because of how large this is. Same thing up here. While they do have an area back here that doesn't have severe sun damage, the majority of the deck system has severe sun damage. So this is absolutely 1,000,000% a deck rescue painting project. You can go ahead and call it a deck floor rescue painting project if you want to. That's essentially what's going on. But either way, the replacement of the floor system here is something that's absurdly expensive right now. Absurdly expensive. It would blow a lot of you away to know how much it would cost to replace those floors. They're not going to pay a fraction of that, or they're only going to pay a fraction of that with Kong, and they'll be under lifetime protection. So let's see how this plays out. The ferry deck will get started after Memorial Day weekend. I'm Anthony Ford. See you guys later.